Greetings, everybody. My name is Knight. I hope everybody's having a blessed day out there, a great day. So today I'm going to be making a video on my spiritual journey, briefly, and maybe resonate with it. And in this journey of mine, I'm going to be bringing up a couple of topics. Definitely going to be talking about heavily more so on the divine feminine, the dark mother energy, even the light side of it, and also the God aspect. I'm only saying this from my point of view as a male. If you're a female, you'll probably resonate with this, mainly because of the fact that, for one, I can see spirits, okay? I can feel them and all that. And I know for me, I have a lot of female spirits, not like just like ancestors, it's more like guides. I've even seen deities, female deities from different cultures and different backgrounds, yes. And I feel very protected by female deities. So I'm bringing this up is because of this. I grew up Christian, okay? A lot of my family is still Christian. My dad, my mom, everybody. You know, from time to time they might ask me to go to church with them, and I'll go to church with them, right? But obviously I don't follow, how can I say, I don't claim a denomination. That makes, I don't claim that religion. You know, I believe certain aspects of what they talk about, but not everything. I'm a little bit more open-minded. Now, with that being stated, right, in my life, I've been baptized 5-6 times, okay? Not because I was doing bad, it's just that I wanted to be baptized in my younger days. I'm 39 years old. I'm gonna repeat myself, I'm 39 years old. I'm 39 years old. I know I look young. I turned 40 in November 15th. I was born in 84, all right? So I know what I'm talking about when I start talking about some things. I've been in the military as well. I just retired out about 2 years ago, okay? So, and I've been to college. I studied kinesiology. All right, so I just had to say that for all my people out there guessing things and think I'm just out here just speaking. No, I speak from experiences. So, real quick, okay, I'm bringing this topic up today about spiritual journey. My journey is because I know there's a lot of things I've seen, I read about, I heard about were false, heavily false. When I've traveled Iraq, I've been to Italy, I've been to Africa, been all around the world, all the way to the direction of Iran and all that. Been in war zones and all that. I walked on land, not just on a ship. Walked on land. I went to museums and I've discovered a lot of the things that people are saying are evil is not the truth. Not the truth by far. And a lot of stuff that people are saying is good is not the truth at all. And even when things are being stated as evil, they don't do what they say they're doing. They're supposed to do to you. Okay. So if I sound like I'm all over the place, I'm about to bring it to you. So I'm gonna use like, for example, I'm gonna use Hecate, right? Now me, as you see me, I'm an American. I'm mixed. In case y'all don't know, half black, half white, Native American. A lot of Native American actually. I got about 20%. Probably don't see it on me, but if you saw my mama, you would. So I got all these cultures in me, okay? So I see white spirit guides, I see black spirit guides, I see Native American spirit guides, I even see Asian ones. I don't know if I got Asian, I don't know. So, with that being said, they come to me. Same thing with these deities. I mind my business, like I told y'all. I don't really claim an actual deity or a certain type of form or none of that. I just believe in an omnipresent force, that's it. Been like that since I was a child, but when I was growing up, even though my family was Christian, spirits would come to me. Spirits, ghosts, even like deity type of forms, demonic forms. And somehow I would just know naturally, like, to pray or banish them, and they'll go away most of the time. I've been in hunting houses and things of that nature. Now back to Hecate, right? You know, when I started doing readings, things of that nature, like actually before I started doing, like the year before, I started feeling some type of spiritual essence around me, a feminine. Didn't really know what it was. Because certain spirits I can see, but sometimes they want to hide themselves and they don't want to show. So even if you go to another medium, just like y'all know, they might not be able to tell y'all everything because certain spirits are very strong where they don't want to show. And even your angels might be shown, but they don't want to tell their name. Now with her, she came to me right when I started doing tarot more. She started helping me more, but she was always there before then. And I didn't know who she was. Well, that's the thing. I would always see this older looking woman. Didn't know who she was, always smiling, always doing stuff for me. Didn't know. And just let y'all know, I didn't have a statue, and I didn't have an altar. This when I was in the military, guys. This is like a year and a half before I got out of the military, back in 2018, whatever it was. So you know what I'm saying? So it's like all this is happening. Why? And so I start questioning things because, you know, I know from what I saw, a lot of goddesses and forms, they want to, from what they see in books and stuff, they say they protect the men. And then I'm like, I'm not Greek. My dad speaks Greek, but I'm not Greek, you know? So I was like, past life, automatically, I need a past life. And a lot of these forms that y'all call deities, they come to me and they tell me they're angels. So no disrespect, people want to call certain life forms and things of that nature gods. They could be, but for me, and I'm not saying they're not, but to me, they're telling me they're an angel to me. They're like an angel. Why should you know me? Because like, I don't worship anything, so it's no point of telling me that you are a goddess or something like that when you can't really like make me do anything. You can probably scare me. You could try to do stuff to me, but you can't. You know, it's kind of like we have free will out here. Only once you make an agreement, whether in this life or past life, then that's when things can get bad. When you start seeing people do go that far with it. And so I'm not talking down on anybody who wants to do this kind of work, but I have to share this because, you know, I kept bringing up Christian because I came from a good background. I'm still a good guy. And even before tarot, I would still see spirits, even on the ship, paranormal experiences, and all these things. I've seen deities, ghosts, demons, devilish looking things come to me. I even had times where I've had premonitions of the future, of what was going to happen to me. I had a vision I was in the hospital, and that happened. I had a vision I was going to make money, then that happened. Everything. I've even had visions in my past life, okay? I've had visions in hell states, heavenly states, and I can always decipher the difference if it was a past life or this life. And so, with that being said, like, when things come up to you, you don't have to acknowledge if a spirit or deity comes up to you. But a lot of times, sometimes they just sit there. Like, that Hecate energy was just sitting around me for, like, I would say, like, 5 years, and she still comes from time to time. Even if I try to banish her or anything, like, there's no point. And so, same thing with the Lilith energy. Lilith has been around. I don't do anything with her, really. Like, I literally... No, I would tell you this. The year after I noticed this Hecate presence, Lilith came through. And I'm like, what is this about? Now, I was scared in my mind because, like, she let me know who she was. Like, y'all think I'm joking. When she showed as a light form, then she showed, and I remember seeing these papers, like, flipping out. And then, like, I had these papers in the home, and I just kept seeing the word Lilith, all over my papers. I was like, what the heck is that? And she just making sure I knew who she was. Because it started off in a vision and she appeared. Same thing with the Ishtar. These things are real, right? And so she came to me as a beautiful woman. I didn't see any horns in her head, none of that. And yes, she can shapeshift. And even though people say, oh, they make men have sexual encounters and make people have all these crazy stuff, I didn't experience that. And you see, I'm not Caucasian. And so... no matter what y'all believe her background is, Mesopotamian, Hebrew, whatever, Caucasian, whatever, at the end of the day, you know, even if they want to say she's one of the first females that were born, why is she here? And the reason I know this, there's a difference between her and ghosts, spirits, and demons. I definitely know the difference between Hecate's presence, Lilith's presence, my angels, Archangel Michael, and all these people, these souls, compared to like my ancestors, or a demon, an actual demon, or what y'all want to call those reptilian things, which I just feel like is another form of some type of demon. To be honest with you, they're trying to control humanity, but that's another topic. And I've seen those when I was in Japan, and I was in my room. I saw those reptilian things. It's not a joke. Those things are real. And they're like so strong. They really hide and shapeshift behind the ghosts and the spirits. It's crazy. And so I'm only bringing this up is because in my journey, I've seen, again, light and dark things. But a lot of the stories I've read about these things, they're not all the way true. I mean, granted, they can make themselves seen and be shown however they want to, whether towards me or anybody else. They can even show favor to me and maybe not to you. It doesn't mean I'm any better. But at the end of the day, man, people can say, oh, you're going to go burn and for seeing these things. Or you're going to, and that's why I rewind it back again. I keep going back again. Before I started tarot, this has nothing to do with tarot. It has nothing to do with magic. I'm telling you, these things were already here before, and I was a Christian. Nobody in my family does anything that I do as far as a tarot or anything like that, but me. And so this is what I'm trying to say. Certain things are destined in your life to happen, whether you conjure something, or if you don't conjure something, or if you decide to be Islamic, a witch, a Christian, it's going to happen anyway. So even though you got free will, and from my perspective, you have free will, but you're kind of like an actor already playing the part that was already supposed to happen. You just got to play your role. I feel like, from my perspective, the only thing that's like unfortunate is if you had an untimely death, where if you took your own, unalived your own self. But most of the time, everything's in alignment. You know, how I look at it from my perspective, y'all might not agree with this. I feel like we have like 85% free will, and everything else is you can't control none of that. And that 50% is way strong. And that's just me being nice. And again, I just noticed in my journey, man, I've seen a lot of spirits, a lot of paranormal things, but I've noticed the older and older I get more spiritual contact. And this has nothing to do, again, with reading this, because I will say my mom has seen stuff, my sister, my niece have seen things, but they don't do what I do. It's like, I really feel like that's also ancestral, just passed on to me from actually both my mom and my dad's side, but the only thing is they don't utilize it like I do to help people. They just go to church and go to work every day. That's it. And even though I do cards, I do it for y'all. I don't really want to. I'd rather talk and tell y'all what I feel is coming to you, but I'm not going to do that because nobody wants to sit here and watch somebody like talk. People want they need evidence. And a lot of times people don't relate with you. It's like, it could be the message, but it's also your vibration. Your vibration not be matching with mine, or you might not match with the other reader. You might not match with the prophet. You might not match with the pastor. It's not that they're doing anything wrong. It's just your energy might be too low or higher, or it just might not just be for you. And that's how I look at everything in life. The people you date might not be for you, might be for the moment. So again, I kind of got off subject, but in my spiritual journey, I've learned all these things, and I put it all together. Just like when I started looking outside the box, like I started looking at how nature is ran, everything's ran on phases and cycles. And I started looking more at the mother, the females. And I look at this whole world as we're in a big cycle, and I look at us in a womb, like that darkness of space, that's like a womb. So when you're inside your mom's stomach, it's dark, right? And I feel like this earth and all the planets, the stars, which is like the children, they within the mother. And I feel like she was asexual and she produced masculine and feminine energy. And I really, from my perspective, I feel like females possibly could have came first, XX then the man. And even if you want to say they came at the same time, I feel like the man was spliced out of the woman, because again, XX chromosome and then XY, and if woman's always bigger in energy. I just noticed these things. It's a lot. If you really look at that whole aspect of life, that everything's feminine mainly. And even though us men, we have feminine, female aspects of us too. And it's not me downing on myself or us as masculines. It's just what I see. But yeah, this is I don't want to make this video too long to bore you guys. It feels like I'm all over the place. I'm trying to dabble on all kind of things. I didn't really know what the title is. I just felt like getting something off my chest. Not just to hear myself talk. Y'all might enjoy this little brief conversation I'm having, but I just want to let y'all know, man, like, again, this is not a message out here to go talk to spirits, talk to deities, or go to haunted houses, or do anything crazy, nothing like that. And this is not me talking down on anybody's belief system, religion, paganism, nothing like that. It's none of that. I've experienced it all. It's more about sometimes things have come to my life unexpectedly, especially different parts of the world. When I was in Iraq, again, I'm walking around in Bahrain, I'm living out in town, I'm seeing all these spirits that are different cultures, and spirits talk to me, and they don't do anything bad. I've seen spirits heal me. I've had spirits that were passed away, angelic form kind of spirits, even some darker things. They'll touch me and I'm healed. Don't know why. So you don't have to believe this story, but it's the truth. I'm not here to just boast and brag. I'm just here to wake anybody up to like really look thoroughly when you read books, or if you watch movies, or if you travel to see a museum. Really look and really trust what's in your gut. Do you really feel like that's true? What you're reading in that book, what you're watching that movie, or what you're seeing inside that museum, or when you travel to another country, you do really believe that's true? Because you got to always remember this: men and women, especially men, but women too as well. Some people have manipulated history. So sometimes, you can have 1,000 people before them all say the same thing. They're just regurgitating things. And I'm also a person too. They're all on the same frequency too, though. So I'm also a person too, though. If something keeps happening bad to that culture, they might be in the same frequency of negativity mindset, and always having other cultures come at them that don't like them. It's like an ongoing thing. They're attracting, like attracts like, So that's just how I look at it. If certain spirits are attacking you, it might be also because your family line, it could be your culture, it could just be your energy. Doesn't mean we don't have actual negative spirits to attack people, but at the end of the day, I'm also a person, when I look at history as a whole, I don't care if it's from Greek, Africa, whatever, when they're going through certain circumstances, it's a collective consciousness that's bringing that energy in. That's just how it is. If you keep thinking you're oppressed, because this is how I look at it, even if you know factually that you are oppressed, you thinking that already, and it's not helping. So it's one thing to be aware, okay, I'm oppressed. But if you start thinking that, all you're doing is adding on and giving the people energy who are oppressing, giving them more power to oppress you. instead of you telling yourself, I am not going to be oppressed. I will break this chain. So then it makes it, how can I say, makes you stronger to pretty much almost break that fight against the oppressors. And maybe your energy could spark their mind through angelics and spirits around you, and like through the angelic realm or whatever, to spark a mind them to say, hey, I'm gonna let them go. And I'm just using an example with humans, and that's how I see spirits and souls. You have every soul and every spirit, every deity has a part, and for what I've seen, again, as they say, as above, so below. Again, the water's up there, water's down here. I look at that up there, it's just another form of water. It's like plasma, like the dark atoms. I just look at it's very hot water, but then it turns to some type of vapor liquid. Because if you notice, the astronauts, they gotta jump into these white suits and they go into water. And whether you want to believe we actually went to the moon or not, it's just like you can just see that this is like another form of water. It really is. It's just not like liquid. I look at it like gas, like some of the planets made of like gas. But I'm not here to get into all the science of that. But I'm just telling you what I've seen and what spirits have told me. Again, I have spirits talk to me, deities and all from all different cultures and backgrounds. Because again, when you see me in this flesh, and just how you see yourself in this flesh, you've lived many lives. I'm not here to force y'all to believe that, but we live many lives. It's different nationalities. You don't even know what your soul originally incarnated as. You could have originally incarnated as an Asian person. You don't know. And so you might be wondering why you feel connected to like Asia, but right now you're Caucasian. You probably had a past life then, and you're probably protected by a lot of Asian deities or Asian looking angels, or they want to come into that energy. Even if they don't want to show in physical form, they might be glowing orbs. Like I've seen glowing orbs. I've been missing shadow spirits. So again, just be aware, man. That's just how I see it, man. Again, this is not from y'all to, like, y'all can like the video or whatnot, but this is me speaking, man. I just felt like I wanted to talk about this, because I just felt like, I guess I'm just tired, man. I'm tired of, like, watching videos, reading books and stuff, and I relate to things, but it's like, I don't relate this. I relate off of experience, and it's like, people are not really writing about their experiences, and then if they do, you don't know if they're, like, over-exaggerating or sugarcoating things. And so you gotta like sit back and like look at it from a different perspective, Like for me, I'm gonna give you this thing right here. Like when I first got on tarot, I didn't get on tarot to like make like videos like this. Because when I got on tarot like years ago, like right at the beginning of YouTube, I wasn't even in it like this. And I didn't have any motivation to want to make videos like this. When I got into tarot, my thing wasn't trying to know about who my lover is, or who my wife would be, or what my job would be. My initial thing was like finding out the secrets of the world. Self-discovery, yes, because to me, I feel like tarot is more about self-discovery. So even though psychics out here, they've been doing it for years, like helping people, which is great, it's about self-discovery. But I want to know the secrets of the world. So like what I would do is, I would like ask the spirits that be, the powers that be, I would say, hey, for example, for me, this might sound horrible, guys, but I was like, how were certain, because like, even though I've been to school and I've read history books, I don't believe a lot of stuff. So I'll ask, why did certain cultures, how can I say, become conquered? Like how were they taken over by certain cultures? So for example, I might say, hey, how did Africa, other than the story I've heard, how did they get conquered? How did the Native Americans get conquered? Other than me already knowing the Western world and all that, it's just like I'll be wanting to know deeper. And then they'll bust out and say something like this. Like, for example, when I asked about Africa, it wasn't just because some people might think they're primitive. It's more because they had got complacent. They had a time when they're in power, like a long ago, during the time of Egypt, with also the Greeks, when they came in and mixed in, and they got complacent. And then when they mixed in, that's it. They got too comfortable. And you can kind of see it now, no offense, that certain cultures, they kind of get too complacent, too comfortable, and then they become lazy. Like they work, but they can kind of become lazy. I'm not here to offend anybody, I'm just saying. And so that was something I asked spirit. Like, it just, to me, it makes sense. Like, I might say, well, how come society's always having male and female conflict? And I'll ask a question like that. Is it really just because the male has always dominated things, or they didn't want to let the woman be in power? Is there something bigger than that we're not seeing? Was there like a spirit that actually made the men become like this? And they say, yeah, but it was also them, and it was showing me. And that's what made me get into tarot, okay? And then when I started seeing the answers for what it was, and I started reading between the lines of certain texts and books, all right, I got that. Same thing with the Bible. I didn't use tarot on the Bible. I literally went to sleep one night and they literally showed me how the Bible was created. That was really intense. And that was the day my faith changed. Like when they showed me that was crazy to me. That was that, and I'm going to talk about that. And then standing in when I was in the Navy, like before I retired, they told me a conflict coming. I'm not gonna put a timeline on it, but they showed me like before Russia had this conflict with Ukraine. I had a vision of that in 2017. September. I actually wrote it down. I was sleeping on my boat and I saw a conflict. Like the spirit showed me I was above the ocean, and it's like I was spirit outside my body, and they showed boats and all this stuff leaving and Ukraine and all. It was crazy. And then they showed the future coming, which I'm not gonna speak on, with China and all the stuff that's going down in the pandemic. And they were telling me all this stuff was real, it was wild, man. And I wrote it down, and I even got a document with the dates I wrote it on. So I'm only saying this because in my spiritual journey, man, you might have times where you don't understand certain things. Question it. There's nothing wrong with questioning it. If you are comfortable, I'm not trying to tell y'all you can talk to spirits, talk to your guides, talk to the God source. If you do tarot, you can ask them. I'm a person, you don't always feel the need to always use tarot or just pray to God about your needs or your necessities. You can also just ask for like knowledge of how can I say, maneuver around this place we call Earth, whether in your life or when you encounter other people. Because one thing I did do my whole life, most of the time, even before doing readings or any of that, I've always spoke the spirit of the God source my whole life. Like I always act like it's my friend in here talking. Like I always talk to the God source every day, all the time. Like how I'm talking to y'all for real. Not always like out loud, but in my mind I'm always talking. Like when I'm driving down the street, I'm thinking like, hey, which place would be safe? Should I go over here? This and that. It always saved me. When I was in the military, I was doing security, walking around. I'm always like talking, like, hey, I'm using my intuition, using my discernment. Should I turn left? I'm gonna get shot over here. Should I do this? Like, I'm always like that. I'm always like that. My life got saved so many times. I've had life death situations. I blacked out, my eyesight gone, my hearing gone, my taste gone, my body wasn't moving. I'm telling you right now. And I remember I was pretty much still, and my soul was still in. And I remember the last words I said, not through my mouth, but inside. I was like, God, if you want for me to go, I'll go. But I feel like I got more to do here. So as I said, I woke back up. But it's like, the thing about it is like, I'm telling y'all, man, like, this journey we call life, man, ain't nothing perfect, man. It could be rough, but it's a lesson. It's a beautiful lesson. And I wouldn't take it back at all, man. I would still do what I'm doing now. So forgive me, guys. I kind of got such in there at the end of it. I just had something to say. I don't know what to even name this video. I'm gonna figure it out. Cause I started talking about gods and deities, and it's like talking about spirits. I'm just very passionate, man. Again, I just feel like talking, cause like to me, this right here, making these videos, this is just something I enjoy talking. I don't really it's not like a necessity because, like I said, I get a pension. Like I'm retired out, I'm fine. I don't really, yeah, man, people might assume that they know me or they think I'm just doing this just to do it, just to get some attention, just talking, man. I like bringing up messages from the divine. And time to time, y'all gonna see me making messages like this. And this is who I am, man. People get misconstrued when they see me with my tattoo or I look young or, it is what it is. I'm a single dude, no kids, living the best life, man. Soon to be traveling again, and I just want to share this message with you guys. So again, man, whenever you curious about something, don't be afraid to question your reality that you live in. As y'all know, it's deeper than what you know. And I feel like I might have more story times than this. I want to tell y'all some paranormal experiences. Like when I was in my father's house, he got rented out a long time ago. It was haunted. We didn't know, and it had like a lot of Egyptian mythology. Like far as like they had books on mythology, and the archaeologists had certain items there from Africa and all that. So I'm gonna talk about that. And they were like cursed. I'm telling you right now, it's a long story. And they passed away in the house. So before we got there. But I'm gonna talk about that. I got a lot of. I feel like I'm gonna do readings, but I want to talk about like paranormal stuff and possibly like spirits and deities and how I look at like the God source or goddess source, the energy of love. And if y'all relate, man. That's just my story time. So with that being said, I'm trying to make sure I'm not forgetting anything because I might make a part 2 or another story time. I don't know. But that means say my name is Knight, and blessed be.